the fun begins.
Hello! Welcome to the council. Hopefully you can't hear that background stuff. Okay. We begin tonight's meeting of the council by calling the council to order. Hello to everyone and thank you for joining us. The council's a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm Elise, and with me are my fellow council members. I think Magic Ace might not be here quite yet.
I am here. I'm just really struggling tonight with technical difficulties. Being in here at all is really, really interesting.
She comes to us via radio.
From the beyond. Redna.
Hello.
And Sakari, who I cannot actually see this time.
Yes, hello everybody, I'm also here. The people can see me, but you guys cannot, because they did a redo to Skype. Thank you, Windows, for all of the technical issues you give us every show. Love you guys. Long time, as Redna says.
Hold on, let me put my glasses back on so I can read the next part. Tonight we're going to be talking about the new content with that involves Dantooine and the Kotaku article. It's a little after that, after all the fervor has died down a little bit, but there is some relation to our content. Anyway, Magic, I can talk about what we're going to do in the next live after the live broadcast if you'd like. I don't want to step on your toes though. Okay. You can find our recorded episodes everywhere podcasts are found and on our YouTube channel. Check out our social media page and don't forget to follow us on Twitch. You can find our Facebook page at, let's hope I don't mangle this, facebook.com/thecouncil.SWTOR. Our Twitter is at thecouncil.SWTOR and our website www.thecouncil.SWTOR.com. You can find our Patreon page if you so choose to visit it at patreon.com/thecouncil.SWTOR. So Sakari.
Oh yes, okay, yes. No,
we're at your lovely icebreaker tile.
Yes, the icebreaker. Okay, so give me 1 second here because I'm rusty. It's been a while, people.
Wow.
Right. All right. The icebreaker question is typically a question that we use just to get the discussion going. It has been some time now. Like we moved to a bi-weekly show schedule, just because we needed to space some things out because we don't want to stress ourselves out with the content releases as they have been coming along in their pace. So we thought, hey, we'd adjust and fit. And then some things got in the way, and it turned out that I was moving, actually. I'll tell you about that in a second. So we kind of had a 2-week skip, but we're back to our bi-weekly show schedule now. We had to do that in order to fit Star Wars Celebration in, which we'll talk about next week. I think that's going to be a show. A lot of cool things coming our way. That said, the question of the week for this episode is, I kept it nice and simple, guys. What have you been up to the last couple weeks? Because I know it's been some time since the council last met. I thought we just kind of catch up. What's been going on in your lives? What have you been playing? What are you up to? Answer it however you want. Don't answer it. That's an option as well. Magic, are you with us?
I am.
All right. So what have you been up to?
Well, today I DPS Terror from Beyond Nightmare for my first time, and it was super great until I had to remember cooldowns for tentacles. That was quite painful and embarrassing, like horribly embarrassing. But otherwise, that was fun. Mostly just been doing the same thing I always do. Grinding to craft and get credits so that I can get more tunes geared so I can keep doing NIM. And then the cycle continues because I have to farm more NIM to get components, to get gear, to gear more tunes. So right now I have 2 raid groups that's doing Nightmare Gods. One of my groups is on Avalon Esne, and we nearly got to Bummer Fairies, and we've only been doing it for like 2 days, so that was pretty awesome. And I've been doing lots of queens to sell mats because yay money. So the veteran mode queens drop the gold mats that you can craft with, and I've been selling those. Yeah, and then the mats that drop off a tithe, we've been selling those. I got 69 million last night. That was pretty fantastic. So yeah, just literally the same repeat grind. But I picked up Lightning Sork 6 nights ago, and I DPS on her the first night in NIM today. So that was interesting.
On a lightning sork? Is that even viable?
Oh, why? Why?
Sorry, maybe I should ask that later.
Time. Okay, long story short, in the right hand.
She set records, man.
I know.
No, but I did get 11K on Kefis, and she's still in 248 gear, so that was a little exciting for me because everyone's like, "Oh, Sorks are bad words that I can't say on the stream." They're like, "Sorks aren't good," and I'm like, "But I love Sorks, literally. Like, I absolutely love Sorks. I can play PT, but I don't love it. So Sork's my jam."
I think that's fair. So that's pretty cool. Like, what kind of DPS are you pulling off with a lightning sork? Like, geared?
The highest I've gotten since today was my first NIM with her was 11,006. Like, exactly that. I was pretty excited about it because literally picked it up 5 days ago. I happen to know, like, the 2 highest parsing sorks, like, in the game. So I got pointers and tutoring from both of them. So that's pretty exciting. But I found out very quickly that some fights are a lot easier to pull numbers on the other. Operator 9 is so stupid because you're constantly bouncing back and forth for like cores and then ads and then the boss. Oh, like trying to parse that was so frustrating. I couldn't even pull 7K. I was really annoyed. With that. But I mean, I'm not 258 geared yet, but one of them told me he can pull like 13K on some bosses. So like, I'm really looking
as a lightning sork.
As a lightning sork, yeah. I haven't learned fully Madness yet, so I'm just focusing on lightning at the moment.
Yeah, because I want to say lightning is a ranged burst spec, has like a -5 to the base percentage of its own. I know, I'm sorry, we're mathing people. My apologies, but I mean, that's, to me, 11 is quite amazing. So like, I'm in awe of that kind of.
Yeah, if you want any details on that, like I said, I know people that can get you details.
It's pretty.
We can have an episode on stuff like that. I'm down with that.
Right. Is there anything else you want to report on what you've been up to, or are we
crafting? I've just been doing a lot of crafting for augments and whatnot, like all the crafting and PvPing a lot more because now that they have it to where I can get like 8 Warzone medals can give me a gold crystal. I've been doing that every single time. Like, I don't miss it. I do it on all my tunes. And I've been enjoying the PvP so much. And then they screw me over and put Starfighter in there. And it's not just 3 matches. You have to win 3 matches. I'm like, well, you basically just screwed me out of a crystal for the week. Thanks. So that's about it.
Yeah. I've heard stories of people that don't like the Starfighter, and then they have to do a Starfighter, and everybody gets screwed up for a week. So.
Oh, yeah. And the first
why? GSF is easy.
Broken. Yeah, but the first 2 weeks that they had it on rotation, it was broken. So even if you won your 3 matches, you still didn't get your crystals. So people were pretty salty about that. Not that I can blame them, because it's hard enough to get in a match and not get chewed out when you're there, because there's not like a learning curve. You got to be good right out the gate. So
that's true. No kidding. Elise, what have you been up to the last couple weeks? I think I can guess, but I'll let you tell us.
You can.
Yeah, parenting stuff. Pulling people to places.
Sadly, yes, that is true. Yeah. So I have had to adult a bunch. So we'll just leave it at that. Adulting and new pets. And yes, I have a guest. You might eventually hear her every once in a while with my daughter's guinea pig. Anyway, so game-wise, I don't know why all these games end up having anniversary events all at the same time, but it's annoying as all get out. Like,
so they all release before Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like Warframes was ended Monday, today, and ends today. I got it all done on PC, but I did not get it all done with my kiddos on PS4. So we missed out on a anniversary like Warframe skin for PS4. I feel bad about it, but not that bad about it. We tried 3 times, and I'm carrying 2 noobs.
I'm not that bad of a noob. Come on.
I love hearing Elise talk like that.
I was not carrying you on PlayStation 4, but I was carrying 2 people that were MR.
Me on PC.
I was carrying 2 people that are MR 1 and 2, which, for those of you who don't know Warframe very much, that's like
Learn to play noob.
It's like beginner like ranks, but Warframe does different things, and I don't want to get into a whole discussion about that. But let's just say that's kind of beginner ranges. I think Redna, you're like MR1 or 2 yourself, right? On
Two
Warframe.
or three. I can't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah,
I know
so
I've gone up one at least.
yeah, so it's like you just play a little bit and then you hit MR1 and you have to take a test. Anyway, so I'm carrying 2 of those on this stupid mission that just deliberately it's like an escort mission where the escort target is trying to kill himself. So we failed. Anyway, so we had that Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, the guy that goes bombing around and he just charges out of the room when it's like, if you just stay in the middle, we take off this.
Did we do that together?
Yeah.
Oh,
And you were complaining the whole time. Why won't he just stay here?
I did get some. I also carried you in that one. That's right. So I've done it twice. And oh my God, I griped about it this time while we failed 2 times that mission. Anyway, but for SWTOR, I actually.
If you'll remember, we actually had an MR17 with us, so we were able to complete it.
Yeah, like he totally carried. That person did the majority of the work, and it was really nice because he like hung out with us for 3 missions.
For 20 minutes while you taught me how to mod it properly and stuff.
Like, he's like, oh, he just sat there and like chilled while we like did like geared up and stuff. Anyway, the Warframe community is awesome. So on Star Wars: The Old Republic, this is my first time playing in 4 years, almost 5 years. In Memorial Day weekend, it will be 5 years.
Say it.
Preferred player.
Boy, like, isn't it restrictive? How restrictive is it feeling?
It's super duper annoying. But it is more annoying. I could have lessened it. However, I decided to level so the last class I have left to do is Jedi Knight, right? That's the last class I have left. And I decided to do it on Starforge to finish that one. What I did not realize when I made this plan is we had that I did all my unlocks and stuff on Satil Shan and thought, oh, it's account wide. No, it doesn't transfer servers. So I had all this stuff unlocked on Satil Shan, and I go to Starforge, and it doesn't acknowledge that I finished any classes. Kirk hung with me. I think it took me about 4 hours to finish Tithe.
Wow.
We were talking. I had to do laundry.
That's right, because you don't get the increased XP generation.
Correct.
For
Although
okay.
I'm like level 8 or something just by the time I finished Tithe, so that's a lot faster than I expected it to be. But since I was in a group, you get a little bit of a bonus with being in a group, so I'm not sure how that cancels it out. What is it, 10 or 15% less or something like that? I don't know how much that cancels out that experience ding that they give you. But he crafted me like a crystal and stuff for my lightsaber and all this stuff, and I couldn't use it because it's a considered artifact.
Yes, it is. It's purple.
Yep. You have to buy the artifact thing as a preferred status to be able to use it.
Well, I was like, you know what?
Create your own hard mode.
I did all of that on Satil Shan and completely forgot to do it on Starforge. So
if you use somebody's refer a friend link, you can transfer a character for free. And then
Kirk tried to give it to me, and it said this code already exists, whatever that means. So
I think that usually means it hasn't been like 90 days since you last used it.
I haven't used one in
that's
5 years.
Yeah.
That is really odd.
Well, here, you can try using mine. Maybe mine's not broken. We'll see.
But it could also be that I just unsubscribed and
yeah, there's some timer maybe.
And in December, so maybe it's not been long enough yet.
No, it should be up by now. Or if not, it should be like in the next week or 2. Like that should be the time.
So I'll try something again and we'll see. But I was like, when we were sitting here shopping, of course, on the GTN, buying that for credits is like 200 million credits or something like that. The artifact unlock.
200 million, really?
Yeah.
Yikes. That's just
the-
stupid.
That's for account wide. I guess I could have.
Did you
done
say
it.
200 million?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yikes.
That's exactly.
I looked for.
We are agreed.
Okay, so here's the other one that's just crappy. So I still get the refer a friend stuff because I used one my very first time I played this game. So I'm still getting the stuff from it. And you get a free hide helmet like dealy with that. Well, it's only to actually toggle the helmet off. If you want to toggle it back on, you have to pay again.
Really?
What?
What? No.
That's
not joking.
That's hilarious.
Talk about a cash grab.
I literally started
They hold
raging.
your helmet
As
hostage.
Kirk is my witness, I started ranting. I'm like, what
That's
is
so
this
awesome.
crap? That you have
This
to
is
pay per
why
click? Oh my god, that is just predatory. So
Predatory.
this is why people just stay subbed and like they never unsub
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like the
Such a
second
hassle.
you go back from sub, like I played a whole year before I ever subbed. It was right when free to play first launched.
It'll wreck your
So I
whole
played
account.
a whole year. And if you don't know what you're missing, it's fine. The game is fine for you. And then the second, like, all this stuff opens up to you, that's how they get you. That's how they get the money, because you can never go back. You're like, oh, I
Mhm.
can't do
yeah,
this.
no.
It's unplayable. It turns it
That's
into
the only
adware.
thing. So I'm like, I'm sitting here trying to like, I was like to Kirk, I go, should I just like pay just for this account? And then I just won't ever put any gear on because I'm never going to raid. So I really don't need to have a helmet on. And I like pulled out I have a Muraluka or whatever, the blind ones, right? That's
Muraluka.
my character. So I had to pull out my Visas Mar out because that's the only headgear on those that I like.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I had
Agreed.
to pull that out and I put it on and then I toggled it off thinking, well, let's see what it looks like what this outfit looks like with the one headpiece that you can put on that's gray and red for those of you who are like,
Mhm.
make a lot, if you know what I'm talking about, that actually matches if you use the standard outfit or whatever. Anyway, so I went to see that and that's why I clicked it off and then I go to click it back on and I'm like, it says you must be a subscriber to toggle this on or off. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Ridiculous.
So, yeah, so
I
we were
don't
trying-
remember that part.
Oh, it might be new. I don't know, but I'm like seriously pissed off.
I remember they would tell you when you would try to click it, saying like you can't do that. But you know what? Now that you say that, now that I think about it, I do remember one time, like if you had artifact gear equipped before you went back to free to play, it would let you keep it on. But if
Correct.
you unequipped it, you could not put it back on. So now that you say that, actually,
Correct.
it might have been like that. It's just been literal years since I was free to play, so I don't remember.
Right. Well, this was in the outfit designer. So it could very well be that they changed this when they add the outfit designer. And I'm getting the impression that you played prior to the outfit designer being added to the game.
Oh,
It's free to
heck
play.
yes.
So it might
Didn't
have
have
been
a sell
change.
trash button. Hello.
Yeah. So anyway, it was definitely a learning experience. Thank you, Kirk, for hanging with me. He was like in 248
He was
gear.
like, I have to carry this
Like-
noob.
Like he was totally like wiping stuff off, and there's a couple of times where if I didn't do enough damage, I wasn't getting any drops and I wasn't getting counts, and he's like, okay, well just go hit him once. And I would hit him once, and then he'd wipe him out again. So all of the baddies, so it wasn't too bad. But
That's great.
anyway,
Yeah. So me, real quick, I'm going to make this fast. I have not been able to play much of anything the last almost month. I try to be smart with the way that we moved because I'm now in a new location compared to where I was last time. You'll notice I do not have a green screen. I am in a closet. This weird house that I'm in now has a his and hers closet on the master bedroom. And there was they're both huge as closets go. So we were like, well, let's just use one, and then I will just basically set myself up in the other closet. So I've got colored lighting. It's really cool. But sayonara green screen. That thing is gone. So this is how I'm gonna be from here on out for a while, I think. So. But yeah, moving has been pretty much all that I have done. I've just been moving. And when you get a new house, you got to set up the new bills, and make sure everything's going there, change of address forms, everywhere you can think of. So I have been, I'm tired. Maybe at some point I'll get to play something, but like I haven't even been sat down in this chair for much. I've just been so busy with stuff. So
I feel you.
How dare you be an
That's
adult
me.
and not get to
I
play
know.
this game?
I'm like so tired of
Rude.
adulting. Sick of it.
I have a meme for that. I'll send it to you later.
All right, I'll be looking forward. I'm going to shift over to Redna. Redna, sir, what have you been up to the last couple weeks?
I've been playing a ton of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Really? Mobile games, I love.
We are working on beating Nightmare Mode Sith Raid. It's the last one that we need to beat. We've been working on getting through the phases. We can just about finish phase 1. I think once we do phase 2 should go pretty quickly, but phase 3 will be pretty hard again. And I have no idea I haven't even researched phase 4 yet. But yeah. Loving it.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been at the last time I saw Magic, she mentioned modding Mass Effect games, and I was like, ooh. So I've been playing a lot of those.
Yes. So I had to give him the hookup on what's the good stuff and what's not.
And I'm almost done with the second one. And then I, just PvP actually only in Star Wars: The Old Republic recently, just enough to keep the whistle wet and waiting to find out what they have to tell us at Celebration next week.
Haha.
Yes. This week. It's this
Yeah,
week.
it's this weekend.
Oh yeah, I guess it is. We are now
Yes.
in the week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to see, especially since they put out that poor Austin BioWare, like they get that power outage
I know,
that
right?
prevents them from doing the live stream. But they posted today about the fact that they're gonna delay the live stream until after Celebration so that they can talk. They'll still show and talk about Dantooine, but that way they can also discuss what they plan on revealing at Celebration.
Right.
Hopefully that's significant. I want to hear, real expansion and 6.0 in the same sentence.
We might have a wish list. We might have discussed a wish list here recently as to what we think needs to happen. Hint, hint. At Celebration, but we'll.
They need to stop doing these. It needs to be on the order of Shadow of Revan. I mean, that's pretty much all you gotta say. It's got to be that
It's
complete.
expansion-worthy announcement.
Yeah, none of this. It's an expansion. We're adding 5 levels, even though we're not adding any new operations, any new endgame
Right.
content. Oh, and you can spacebar through this story.
And 20
stuff.
minutes of story.
Have fun.
Isn't that great? 20 minutes of story in the dailies area.
I don't want more
Sakari,
levels. Can I already say that? No new levels. No.
It's guaranteed.
WoW has dropped theirs down, right? To 60. They're getting rid of some. I heard that a week or two ago.
Really?
Wait,
I didn't
what? No.
Getting
no,
rid of
'cause I
some?
paid $60 for the boost thing to get me up there because I was already like 35. No, they can't do that. No, I pre-ordered BFA for that crap. Are you kidding me?
I heard something about
No.
them taking away levels. Now I don't know if it's for old school WoW.
Oh, the salt is pouring. and I'm
Classic
so mad.
WoW. Archman says
I don't
classic
know
WoW.
if
in
it's for,
chat.
Vanilla
yeah, I
started
don't know
at 60.
if it's that or if they. I swear though it wasn't for classic WoW, but you'll have to do some research and see. But just,
Oh, I don't
just
know.
look
'cause I
up
feel like right now
WoW.
I'm installing.
She's about to go dark
DPC.
side on us.
I am.
Yeah. So we had those of us going to Cantina had RSVP today. I assume Magic already did that.
I do have a link. We'll share it in the announcement time.
I had to send. I think my husband's going with me, so he has to RSVP, and he has no idea what it is.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, and hours ago I heard there were already over 100 people that had RSVP'd, so that's pretty sweet. There's going to be a good SWTOR population representing.
Mm. Yeah, well, there's actually quite a few
I
people.
plan
it
to
seems like.
stream while I'm there, so I would like to actually be there. I guess RSVP is kind of important. Like, I even bought a laptop, and I'm going to take my webcam with me so I can, stream the thing, so, yeah.
She's gonna be running around with her computer. Hey, talk to the camera.
Yo, you, turn around. I can't switch the angle. Now, tilt your head.
Everything's gonna be
Thank
selfie mode.
I just, I hope not to be a little bit of a downer for you, Magic, but in places like that with that many people.
I know it's dangerous stuff, man. I might stream from my phone.
No, the
Yeah,
bandwidth on your
It's pretty
phone is going to be
dodgy.
pretty crappy.
Yeah.
Well, I would stream on my own stuff, not on Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
regardless.
no, cell phone
Ton of
internet
people,
plummets with that.
Really?
many people. Yeah.
Dang. Oh, you know what?
Because
I
you have
remember
so
like,
many
sometimes-
people on it at once in one spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last time there was like a tornado, like everybody in the area that were calling like their loved ones and stuff, find out like our phones shut down, like we couldn't get the calls through. We're like, well, this feels good.
Crash
Yeah.
the.
That's why they
yeah.
do that whole bay and stuff where they set up, like Twitch will do
Mhm.
like booths for people to cast from because they have it like hooked up and like they've
wired.
made arrangements.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Makes
that
Yeah, they
to
got
be
dedicated bandwidth.
correct.
By the way,
So-
Sakari, check your Discord DMs for that meme. You'll love it.
Okay, I will.
All right. Anyway,
All right.
I'm sorry I took over.
Yeah, so no, it's fine. Like it's been a while. It's fun to catch up, see what everyone's been doing, kind of get Magic a little bit riled. That's half the fun of the council. We'll
Yeah, you made that comment earlier about SWTOR viability, and then now, like, come on now.
It's what we're doing here. So, okay, so we have two things to discuss tonight, as we mentioned before. One of them is that Dantooine is coming to SWTOR. They have not released any other information beyond their tweet and a little bit of something on the web, right? Anybody know of anything that they've said about it besides that? Okay.
Not that I know of.
I
I actually
currently
mostly
haven't
been seeing it from Kid Lee and Vault.
Yeah.
There is one. Larry has an article about it too. I forgot to put that up in our
Okay.
stuff.
So,
but
so
I
can we
should.
link that? Let's make sure we link that as well. Sure to get.
I liked it. I thought it was a good article for me not being. My Dantooine knowledge comes from Knights of the Old Republic.
Right. Mine
Oh
too.
yeah. Because
Oh, and the
Larry's
comic books.
Yeah.
I didn't read the comic books. Knights of the Old Republic. for
Yeah.
me.
Those of you who have lore
my
on
Dantooine
Dantooine.
knowledge comes from Princess Leia telling them that
Oh,
was
yeah,
where the
me
secret
too.
rebel base was.
You're
I
right.
mean,
And that
that's
is
about it.
that's where we named the episode, right? Isn't she say Dantooine? It's on Dantooine. I think that's what I named the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So cool.
Sakari's so clever.
So you know what? I'm used to seeing Dantooine as purple. If Dantooine is not purple, it just feels weird to me because that's my Star Wars Galaxies background. Dantooine was purple. I don't know if anybody else played it, but you'll be thinking so too. What's this colors? It was even weird in KOTOR back in.
From the screenshots that I've seen, it was not purple, but it looked like there was a purple cast to it. So I would assume that like there's almost like an aura of it or whatever around, like you can kind of see it there. But the screenshots that I saw are not purple.
Yeah, so let me go back to our title slide just to show everybody, like, this is one of the pieces that they put on there. It looks good. I mean, it looks maybe a little bit, I mean, you got the rail there, right? It's kind of Corellia. I don't know.
Oh, good Lord, no. Please no.
What do they call the monorail? The rocket tram or something? That's what...
Something.
It's a
And
rocket
annoying
tram.
as all- It's annoying as
On
all get out.
Dantooine.
It's slower than the little like speeder thing that you have to take, in my opinion. It seems like it anyway.
I don't care
Most of the
anymore.
time, I'm like, oh my god, not this thing again. I have
It
to get off.
reminds me kind of a little bit like Ord Mantell. That's what I think when I look at that screenshot.
Yes.
Feels like
yeah.
Ord Mantell.
Honestly, like that stuff doesn't bother me anymore. It did when I first started playing. I'm like, come on, I just want to get to the stuff and go. But now I'm like nostalgic all the time, and I'm like, oh, remember
Yes.
when we did this? Remember in Alderaan, you could just fly around and look at everything. And then McKev, it's all like you get on the speeder and it cuts to it. You don't see any of the pretty stuff. So
I have to read a little bit of the blurb though. They put an announcement on the website. They were like, "Hey, here's what this is all about. With the renewed war between the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire, the remote planet Dantooine has taken on sudden significance. Its location at the edge of Imperial space makes it a perfect staging area for Republic military ships traveling to and from the front lines." So basically, the idea about Dantooine is that it's kind of like like trade lanes are going through there, and that's why suddenly now it's a staging world for this this war, which is interesting. So one thing I just thought I'd bring up for us to talk about, I don't know if it's significant to you guys or not, but it is to me, is the idea that first we had Ossus, right, which is supposed to be remote. It's a farming world. There's nothing on it. Now we have Dantooine, which is also remote and is a farming world. Like we've got all of these outlying outer rim, nothing planets that are like the staging ground for the Galactic War. It just seems a little odd to me. I don't know.
I think it's because it's easy. There's not a ton of stories, so it gives them liberty to do what they want. Nobody could be like, "How dare you ruin what I love?"
My childhood.
It's also a bit
and
of...
I say that being that I'm that person who is like, "How dare you?"
Yeah, this book right here.
This just screamed of nostalgic, just fan service. Because I mean, and which is perfectly okay. I think I've known people since this game came out that have been waiting for Dantooine to be included. Yeah. Like there is a lot of fandom around it because of KOTOR. Like
I'm amazed it wasn't in core game. In all honesty, like the fact that Dantooine wasn't one of the core planets.
I hope they have something about the Jedi Enclave that was there, though, because like for Terrace, you get to see the Endar Spire that crashed, which was what KOTOR starts on. So if they have something about the Jedi Academy, like the ruins of it or something, like you can go see, or the Rakata ruins, like that'll make Dantooine really great. If that stuff's not there, honestly, it's just another planet to me. It means nothing.
Yeah, in KOTOR 2, you do visit those ruins, right? But they're ruins.
Yeah, it's like the end. It's near the end of the game before you go back to Malachor 5.
Very cool. So yeah,
that's the thing. That's why so many people are, which is why you Sakari would have expected to be in the core game, is because it was so meaningful to the KOTOR games, which this is obviously the MMO spiritual successor. So hopefully they do it justice. But I don't know. What's your opinion? Does it? To me, is it just there for this rotating event, or do you think it's actually going to be a full planet, or is it going to be like it appears once a month and you can travel there?
I mean, that is what kind of
that's what it sounds like, yeah.
Creators think it's going to happen, is it's just going to be basically Gree on Dantooine. But, I mean, we don't know. This is guesses. We won't know.
You know what I want? I want us to have a big battle station. And then as Gree comes around the planet, and it shows up just in time, and then once a month, and we could just blast it and then move on with our lives. We could just, all right, and the next month we blast it again. That'd be great. Sorry, it's a Death Star joke.
I get it. I just might have happened to be distracted.
It's going to be on Dantooine, though, Sakari, so I'm not really sure how this, works out.
Yeah, if we just blast Dantooine, then it makes what Tarkin says, if Dantooine is too remote to be an effective demonstration. Well, it ain't there.
Well, I was gonna say,
because we already demonstrated.
Sakari would have completely retconned the whole original trilogy. Yes. So
I've got to admit,
I have to blame him for ruining your childhood.
Yes, on the odd occasion,
since the Death Star hasn't been created, like the Planet Buster, what it is because instead of destroying it, we actually knock it. To the outer rim of the galaxy, right? It boom, we knocked him away. So now it really is. Oh, because of the stuff people did thousands of years ago. Yeah, they knocked it into irrelevance.
so I have played. What is that? It's the battle strategy Star Wars Empire at War. You play Empire at War, and I've once you get the Death Star.
That's the RTS, right?
Yeah, on the odd occasion I'll load it up and I'll play it a little bit, But once you get the Death Star as the Empire, it's hard not to just blast everything. It's like you roll in, you just wait. Okay, timer's up. Boop, boom, it's gone. Then you move on. It's great. It's fun exploding planets. I might have a slight Palpatinian godplex, in case anyone hasn't noticed. So, beyond the Dantooine being a planet, we have a Kotaku, did I say that right, at least, article
yes.
that is in the news lately, where, and we'll link it here in chat in a second, but I probably need to
done? We're done talking about Dantooine?
Do you want to say anything further about it? I'm okay with, no?
No, I just assumed all the lore masters in here would just go on a tear, and that didn't happen. Wow.
I know. Okay. I think we kind of gave him a moment for.
So here's the thing: we have a lot. We don't have a lot of time because we did a catch up in this episode. So had we had more time, you bet you, because I have all kinds of stuff from the video games and the Knights of the Old Republic comic books to throw in there, and the novels. So for time's sake, I just thought I would keep it to myself.
I will say this. It is about freaking time that they did add a new rotating event. Honestly, yes. They should have been adding a new event every year this game has been out. And we might have a dozen of them now, and that would be awesome.
With very long rotation schedules, like this one shows up every, like a year, or like every, year and a half or something shows up.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I mean, I don't mind the bounty hunter one being a monthly recurring thing because that's what it's always been. But then you have like the Gree one should only be happening around Christmas. And I've always been a big fan of having some sort of theme around the taking down of the Dark Council that you could thematically make it similar to Halloween and have it at Halloween time, but it doesn't
It's cool.
Bring in a non-existent holiday into the Star Wars lore. But it's totally appropriate, right? Like, and do that just annually. And I've always wanted them to do that sort of thing for certain time periods, like to create a Star Wars themed event around our holidays. But whatever. I'm just glad they're adding new events.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. Although I don't know if it bothers me that the idea, and at least the impression that I come away with is that we're going to have this event tied to Dantooine, and that Dantooine is only going to be present when there's this event. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what they need to do more of in this game. If they have a bunch of this kind of thing going on, you can only visit certain planets at certain times. That's the only time you can get the datacrons. I think that'll make a lot of people busier, when...
I mean, that's how Gree worked when I first started playing this. I think it only came around like 2 or 3 times a year, my first year or two.
Yes, and everybody wanted it to come back.
Yeah, and I ground the crap out of that one. And then I feel like the zombie, the thorn, whatever. That one. Thank you. It took me a minute to remember that.
When you go to preferred, everything just kind of falls apart.
I know. We're just a bunch of scrubs.
They cap your lore information retention.
Yeah, my ability to remember anything after the past 5 years.
The rest of it goes into escrow.
It's just gone away. So that came more frequently, and I liked all the stuff from Gree. I like almost all of the things you can buy during Gree.
Yep.
Way better than pretty much.
There's a lot of really useful stuff out of the Gree. Yeah.
Yeah.
The offhands.
Offhands.
The look of the weapons and stuff, just all of it. It was just really great. And I always was like, oh, bring back Gree. I don't want this thorn crap. That gear is ugly. Although it is good to pass stuff back and forth with because it's relatively cheap and you get all this stuff and nobody ever wants to use it. But anyway.
I actually like the way that they implemented the Thorn Rakghoul Plague because while it could happen more frequently, like each planet only happens a couple times a year, because they have different settings that they place it in. So I actually kind of appreciated that kind of an implementation of such a frequently recurring event. Sorry.
It's fine. Since I still have not ever done Kaon Under Siege ever, I really would like it if they would make that.
Girl, you gotta start telling me. I can pull you through all this stuff. I have 258 level 2.
That's where you get the.
I know, but that's not it. I would really love it if they would actually tie that. I would imagine there's a lot of people like me who are not in the know and just because it hardly ever
casual,
comes up. It doesn't really come up in rotation. You have to walk in, right? It would be really kind of nice if you got a bonus for running that.
Speaking of events
during Rakghoul, I think it would be great, and something like that would be nice if they would tie that flashpoint to that event to encourage more people to do it. So then maybe you can queue up and find a group if you don't have friends to run it with, so that people can actually do that one.
There's a bonus boss during the event actually in Kaon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The one that drops the Rakghoul.
Yeah.
So
there is some unique stuff in there during the event, but is there any kind of messaging anywhere to let you know that? Heck no.
How many people know about, average players know about the Underlurker chasing around the Underlurker and the thing, and you get a special whatever thing? We had some dude that was in our group, drag us through all of that, and we didn't even know it. And then he was flagged for PvP, and I ended up healing him by accident and ended up getting flagged for PvP too. And I was like, ew!
And the next thing you know, you get smeared.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's an achievement that you have to kill that guy that wanders with each of the little Rakghoul pets out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did it with Zach. I helped Zacho do 1 or 2, getting 1 or 2 of those done, I think. But I only know about it because I hang out with all you go-getter types.
Yeah. That's the thing with Zacho, just in case anybody's wondering. You don't ever help Zacho. Zacho helps you. He's basically he's he is pretty dangerous in SWTOR, for sure.
I was basically just the lookout. Oh, look, it's over here.
Right, and then he blasts it.
Over here. it was my help.
Yeah,
he's not
basically
playing much these days, unfortunately.
He's the Chuck Norris of SWTOR.
Oh, he's kind of adulting, sort of, as well.
Yeah.
Are we all?
So speaking of events, like, just so you guys know, I could be doing a analysis right now. SBH is forming raids, so.
Xenoanalyst.
Whatever. I'm really tired, dude. You don't even know the Xenoanalyst.
It's actually one of my favorite dealies. That's the one thing I am going to miss being preferred. Anyway, so we were talking about after we got off track.
Kotaku. How fun is Kotaku?
How
these
BioWare's
days?
Anthem went wrong.
Yes.
So Elise,
yeah.
you read this article and and reacted pretty strongly to it in our Slack, which is where we pretty much plan all of our episodes, because it affects whether things were told to us over the development of Anthem. SWTOR wasn't being affected, or so we were led to believe. But it seems
No. So we were told directly
right.
by Musco on our recorded and broadcast interview episode.
Right.
And Keith said it on Bad Feelings.
Okay.
Thing too.
Right.
Saying.
So why don't you, at least, could you catch us up, kind of give us a quick brief summary of the Kotaku article, and then what was it that was said that led you to react so strongly?
Okay, so just full disclosure, I am going to gloss. I'm not going to go into depth. I think I'm going to use 3 because it's 11,000 words.
It was a long article.
It was a deep, dense. But I mean, come on. He went into like all of BioWare's recent games and tied together the problems that they had with this one and how it was very much reflective in the other ones and how decisions that were made and tried to be changed from those actually led to the problems that arose. And that actually does tie into this is also how it impacted our game, is because they actually were trying to unify the different
it looks
branches
at the history
of BioWare, the different offices.
I mean, it's kind of a good. He really does give you a good kind of a journey through the last 3 games, because you need to have all that to understand how Anthem came to be. Now, there are a lot of people who were triggered just from the title of the article, which then basically led to complete disengagement and just
Dude, the number of people I saw responding to this article that clearly didn't read a word of it. Including BioWare, thank you.
And to be fair, I don't really feel like, what was the title of it? Why Anthem failed or something?
How BioWare's Anthem went wrong.
Wrong. Okay, so I've made no secret, just so that everybody can understand where I'm coming from. I've made no secret that I have not enjoyed Anthem. I've uninstalled and I'm not planning on finishing it, which this will be the first BioWare game that I've so done.
Okay.
However, I think it will be a completely different game this time next year, because it will actually have gotten the 6 extra months to a year that it actually needed.
Right.
To be
that's funny. Or there to be enough of a core game.
I haven't even installed and started playing it. I haven't even used the link that I've got to give me 10 days of free game time. Because literally everyone I've spoken to that is playing the game, from the haters to the over-the-top fanboys, have all said, like, the fanboys are basically saying, this game has so much potential, it's so awesome, it's so BI. I'm like, so should I try it? Oh no, don't do it yet. I'm so ready.
And to be fair,
I would agree, and I've played.
I am a I've played pretty much all these ones, as everybody knows, and this is not uncommon. This is what Destiny 1 went through, Destiny 2 went through, Division 1. The Division 2 seemed to be the only one so far that learned from its previous experience and its competitors and actually reflected that in its game upon release. So they were the ones that learned. Everybody else had to find their way in the wilderness multiple times. So Anthem is not
Everyone else unlearned what they
exceptionally
learned.
well. So Anthem is not unusual at that part. But I think the thing that really was difficult was the hype was really big, and there was a lot of nobody was tolerating, especially in the Anthem Reddit, which just makes me laugh now of what condition that is in now. You could not ask questions or be at all skeptical prior to release in that.
Shills.
It was rainbows and unicorns.
Really?
I'm not exaggerating, you guys. They chased people out of there who were like, well, I'm not sure if this game is, and they were like, silence, cretin.
We smite you.
Pounded on. And so it just it was ridiculous. So anyway, so they go through all of that. The thing that I hooked onto immediately, that was maybe about halfway through the article, was they started talking about the timeline of when they started grabbing various studios and teams to help on Anthem. And I think it was 2017 is when they grabbed BioWare Austin. And he said the reason why Ben Irving got moved up to Anthem, you all remember Ben, was they needed his help to help move kind of the multiplayer and that piece.
Because BioWare Austin and Star Wars: The Old Republic is the only BioWare division that has experience with games as a service. And for some reason, they were launching out of a different area.
Right. So happened.
They're pulling. So I want to be careful here. I want to reiterate. They were pulling, in 2017, pulling BioWare Austin resources, development and otherwise, writing everything that they could over to Anthem. So now, 2017 corresponds.
Too.
Yeah, and that corresponds to what time in this game?
It's not just him. It's Alexander Freed, and it was what's his name? Hal.
Well, hadn't Alexander Freed gone freelance by that point? I see he was freelance.
He left. He went from here to that, and then left.
Okay. So
they kind of brought in writers, just kind of like contract writers. They did their thing, and then they left.
Gotcha.
Drew was one. Alexander Freed was one. The gentleman who wrote what did he do? The Night Story? No, that was Drew, right?
Drew, yeah.
Charles wrote the Trooper story, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Something else. So it was one of those gentlemen. Anyway, they wrote too. So they were moving all this stuff. And so I assume that in this time frame, I'm not sure 100% when Keith came on as executive producer, right? That's his title? No.
Sure.
Lead producer or something like that?
That's something pretty cool.
So that's the changeover. I'm not sure when that happened, but if you remember, there was questions asked, is Anthem going to affect SWTOR? And the resounding response every single time was no. And
meanwhile, we're looking around at the story going, there's not much left here. Yeah.
2016 was our last major expansion. Was 2016 in December. So we're just past 2018, and I don't think anybody would call Ossus a expansion or a major content update. I mean,
if they called it an expansion, I would slap them in it next Wednesday.
Thank you. So I'm not saying it's not
an expansion would be
content.
Expansions. They always give the new number, right? 7.0, 8.0. That's like a 5.10.2 is not an expansion. Like
right. So I understand things happen, right? And BioWare is notorious for not wanting to ever show their cards, ever, until they have to. They always want to be the ones to make that decision. But on the flip side, there have been major content creators who have either dialed back or diversified from SWTOR. There are people who have left. There have people who are very vocal about the fact that they're leaving. Mm-hmm. We've got somebody, as Magic Ace knows, we have a person that's going to be a volunteer for Star Wars Celebration, whose name is Preferred Until New Hops. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone's wondering, by the way, Ridna had to step out. So,
I mean, like, it's one thing for you to want to hold your cards close to your chest. There's a whole other where you're just pretending like that the train isn't coming for you, and
Yeah.
you're like the personification of that meme where the thing's on fire and the dog's in the middle just
Right.
everything's fine, it's fine,
Like,
everything's fine.
I wonder almost, I mean, I think it would have done them less damage to just say, yes, we are lending some resources to Anthem because we really want that to be an awesome game. And they need the resources to get things done on time. I think that it would actually have looked better for them. We want to do a good game. We want its story to be great. We want it to, we want it to be published on time. Yes, we're lending resources. Things are going to be a little slow in SWTOR for a while.
Yep, it would have.
That we would have been. Sucks that we don't have stuff
like that. Pride, hello.
Right, I know, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I think the player base would have been okay. Well, look, we think you should probably be spending SWTOR resources on SWTOR. I'm pretty sure they would have gotten some of that. But okay, I think maybe the community would have been able to pace a bit more. But it's when stuff like this comes out, when they were telling us no, but actually it was a yes. We lied to you. We didn't basically let you know what was going on. That's when, like, now you got an angry community. Now what? So
I think another piece that perhaps hasn't been covered very much, however, it is in there and it's been admitted. Also, the lovely Ask It Game Dev actually came out and had comments about all this, and that person is friends with BioWare Austin developers.
Right.
Specifically talked about Ben Irving being moved up to Anthem, which I don't know if that was specifically mentioned in the Kotaku article. I might have added that, but that was that particular person said Ben Irving was moved up to Anthem.
Well, I mean,
felt it was.
I think you can say that's fair because it was like, hey, Ben Irving on SWTOR. Hey, I'm leaving SWTOR. Here's a new guy. Hey, Ben Irving on Anthem. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he moved.
Yeah.
So,
but the piece that people might not notice is that BioWare Austin is like taking it over. BioWare Edmonton is now moving over to Dragon Age 4.
So BioWare Austin is taking over running.
I believe that most Anthem, of the lead positions is them. I believe the gentleman who gets on and talks about the that's not Ben Irving, but is the other person. What's his name? It's like James or something like that. That does all the patch updates and all of that stuff on Twitter. That person is out of BioWare Austin.
Wow. Okay.
So I believe that there's quite a bit of work still being done at BioWare Austin. I have no idea how that's going to affect us. But I would say there's really no way that you can say with a straight face that Anthem is not affecting BioWare Austin.
I think I agree. and I think, so the next question then is really what I think we're concerned about. How long is this going to go on? Because we like our game. And we like, I mean, like, hey, I'm part Anthem part, so I want them both to be good. I don't mind whatever has to happen here, but I don't want one to suffer and the other one to do well at its expense, And we've heard about 6.0, and now they've kind of downgraded to talking about a quote-unquote large future update, And then now it's like, hey, we've got a new event for you, but it's coming in 5.10.3 with those little minuscule minor updates, And I'm wondering, I'm like 6.0, we're talking about 2020 here, because dang it, I got money riding on October of this year with the console. We placed our bets, dang it.
And this is just supposition. We don't know exactly. It's quite possible that there's still teams in Edmonton that are helping, but from what I read, both from Ask a Game Dev and also I believe Schreier makes comments about it in that article. I'd have to go back and look at it again. I do believe they've started standing up. They've started shifting people over to Dragon Age 4 at Edmonton. Mark Dara.
So now it's going to happen to...
People got Mark Dara back. Yay!
It's going to happen to both Anthem and SWTOR because all of the resources are going to be on Dragon Age 4, and it's just going to be...
Not necessarily. They need to... I think they're going to continue to chuck a whole bunch of stuff at Anthem because
I sure hope so.
it really feels like the game is too big to fail at this point. So they're going to
Yeah, they do have a lot riding on it. I agree.
I think they're going to throw a whole bunch of stuff at it. My point with making that is that we are not done with Anthem affecting Star Wars: The Old Republic. I just don't. If
I think that's fair.
I mean, I believe the community management team is out of Austin. That live ops team, that's who that person was I was talking about, is like the live ops team producer or something like that, leader. That person is out of BioWare Austin. So you would think most of the back end, like multiplayer stuff, is BioWare Austin's wheelhouse. So, and I have to say also in the article, I kind of got a little for our developers, regardless of where I'm a little crotchety about content.
They're the butt kickers.
Schreier says in the article, and again, I'm sure there's some shades of gray there, that they people like Edmonton wasn't listening to the BioWare Austin developers, and I got a little
well, they were competing against each other in some ways. It was like interesting. How very dark side.
And some of the comments were, we've been running a live service game for 7 years now. I think we kind of know what we're talking about. And the Edmonton people were like, oh, we're doing it the new way. Like, that was kind of the implication that he kind of implied in the article. Well, how true or not that is, or how much emphasis for drama there is in those comments, I don't know. You'd have to leave that open for a debate. But I was kind of like, you should have been listening to them the whole time, frankly.
Right. Yeah.
But
so
anyway,
it is what it is. And yes, the Frostbite. Desirous mentions Frostbite in chat. Frostbite featured pretty in that art. Mm-hmm. As they were like, it's full of razor blades, I think somebody said, and it was like it's hard enough to develop a game. It's even harder when you have to develop a game fighting against the tooling for the game, which is, coding around things. But this makes a lot of sense. I think this sheds some light on development for the rest of us who don't understand. We're like, here's a bug. Why can't you fix the bug? They're like, that bug would have been a lot worse, except that we basically had to fixed it, right? We had to duct tape our way around it, come up with some workaround, and what we've got left is about as good as it gets. That bug is not going away because it could be a lot worse because we had to fight the engine to, and I'm sure some of that happened with Hero, the one that we're using with SWTOR, but it sounds to me like EA really needs to just kind of start from the ground up for future games, to have somebody build a good engine that actually you can use without this,
Well, supposedly Dragon Age 4 is going to be done on what? The Frostbite engine.
Here we go.
Oh, I was like,
at least you don't have to fly, right?
But however, the bonus for anybody who's in chat that's listening, the new Respawn Star Wars game is made on Unreal. So no Frostbite problems. And I was like, yay! It's not on Frostbite.
So there's a lot to this. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can unpack it for another hour, but we do have to kind of get to the end of the episode. Let me jump real quick into the announcements. Really, there's just one that I want to make sure everyone is aware of. That is the Chicago Star Wars Celebration Cantina that's about to go on Saturday night, April the 13th, 7 p.m. Central is when it starts. Go check out the SWTOR website. The one thing I did notice, and I'm going to make sure that this link goes to chat real quick, is that you have to register to be in the event. Now, I think they let you register at the door, right, Elise?
I've got to be honest with you. I did not read all of it, but I do believe Magic A said that a little bit earlier, perhaps.
Magic, could you?
I would, however, if I were you, not wait.
Yes, register. There's a link in chat now.
Yes.
Definitely go register. We'll make sure it's in the show notes, but by the time I post it, it'll probably be irrelevant.
Yeah. If you've never been to a fan event, I've not actually ever been to, because I'm sure Redna would have lots of stories about the ones that he went to when this game got stood up, but I've been to a couple Bethesda ones, and the people who pre-register actually get more swag than the people who don't. So I don't know if that's the case here. I have no insider knowledge about that. I'm just saying that when you have time, if you are going, it's best for you to pre-register. And it's super simple. You just push a button on the link, you put your, name and stuff in it, and then you're done. It's like it took me like 10 seconds to do.
Yes. So now Magic is going to be there this year. Elise is going to be there this year. So if you want to meet some council members, we are well represented. Is Redneck going? He's not this year. He's
I
not
don't
going.
think so.
Okay.
No,
So we
because
have
it's
two
us
people
two.
there. And are you guys doing any time with SWTORista's fan community booth? Are you going to be
Yes,
representing
I
there?
am working on Sunday.
Fantastic.
I am there on Friday.
So if you want to go meet everybody, the council is well represented there. But I know a lot of other people from streamers to podcasters are all going to be at the fan community booth. So definitely go check that out. And thank you very much, SWTORista. We have to definitely give you
Lord.
we raise our cups to you because of the hard work that you've done, making swag, getting it all ready, coordinating behind the scenes. SWTORista has done really good work. Getting,
Oh my gosh, yes.
Getting us ready.
I feel like she does some of this kind of also. I'm sure she'll correct me if I say this incorrectly, but I think she actually does a little bit of this in her real life. So,
she's got some pretty cool stuff. She was showing some pictures of things that she does and like the stuff she creates. And I'm like, girl,
so
where's all this coming from? This is talent. Why aren't you selling this?
Yeah, so she brought her experience to bear, I do believe, for all this because she had all of us that are volunteering like organized. Organized. So it should be really great. She set up streaming stuff, and so I'm not sure. Magic Ace, I think, are you going to be doing?
Are we doing what?
Are we going to be? We had the option to be able to see if we could stream. I don't know if we.
Yeah, if we can. If we can, we will be. Like I said, I will have my laptop there with me. So at the actual event, I think she got booth time or something like that. Yes.
She signed up for us to be able to do that. We do have a code as well to give away. So whoever actually gets the chance to do that, we have I think it's sub code, right? I think that's what it is to give away during that time frame.
Yes, we do.
That's all going to be Magic Ace because I do not have a laptop. I would be doing it from my phone, and that would be a disaster. So.
Well, I literally bought this laptop because my other one I bought in 2009 when I was in college. So I was like, well, it's time to get a new one because it's slow as dirt, and I got to go to the SWTOR celebration, or the Star Wars celebration. Yes. So time to buy one.
So I'm going to try and Periscope. We'll see. I might take over the council's Twitter and...
Very cool. Live tweet everything you can. That'd be awesome.
I will do what I can. But I'm there on Friday, and I am. They made us. The event makes everybody queue online first, get into a lottery to have a spot in the queue. So episode 9 is what I signed up for on Friday. So we'll see if I get in. I will attempt to live tweet while we're there.
Very cool. Yeah, please live tweet if you can, because I will be glued to that. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about stuff. That'd be awesome. All right, Magic, over to you.
Okay, so I was about ready to have to AFK, so let me pull this back. Yes, I was. All right,
want me to do it?
We would like to say thank you for everyone who participated today, who were chit-chatting with us, for the people who check out our Twitter and all the other good things. We appreciate you all. We also would like to say thank you to our patrons. You are fantastic. We love producing content for you. Everyone else, but especially for you, because you have a special place in our dark side / dirty pub hearts.
Pub hearts.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, guys, thank you very much for joining us. That brings us to the end of the episode. The council is hereby adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. You can find Elise on Twitter at abrown35. Magic Ace is on there at themagicace with a J and a K. Ren is there at R3DN4, and you can find me at I am Sakari. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/thecouncilswotor, where patrons can catch the articles we're talking about behind the scenes, exclusive backstage access to all of our after show chat. That is it for us this week, guys. Dantooine is too remote to make an effective demonstration, but don't worry, we will deal with your rebel friends soon enough.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.